outside now. It's not upcoming. So because I don't plan to roll very long, I just want to kind of express some things, I think, and then so hello everybody. I've only been rolling for a couple minutes, and I'm rolling at a bit of an unusual time for me, as far as of the day. It's in the wee hours in the morning, and it's funny because I was just thinking about how, it's interesting. It's nice that some people in other countries, with big zone differences, um, are night owls. Otherwise, I not really meet them very much, especially in lives, I guess, Otherwise, I'm not really sure if that's applicable, but because I sure as heck ain't a night owl usually. Um, but my, my system, my body wasn't letting me sleep anymore, so I thought I'd just come and have a quick chat. I'm going to have a little bit of coffee because I feel like my throat's not necessarily sore, but my mouth is very dry. There's not that much left in this cup, although it's probably pretty sweet near the bottom. And I'm not sure, is this even mine? Fine, okay. So we've got two of you here. I'll make sure that the chat is on. I'm pretty sure it is. We've got three of you here. I don't want to be too long because my spouse is, that wouldn't be able to sleep. They're just trying to sleep knowing that I'm not moving around as much, keeping you awake. Essentially. And it says, because I'm sure I'm not getting to sleep right now, so because, aside from the dry mouth, which is a little bit not something I experience very often, um, my lower leg, both of them kind of, have been tingling. My hands have been going numb this morning. It's not something, considering the health issues I have, it's actually not something that keeps me awake during the night very often. But tonight it did. I tried to do that movement that person was, just as you leave, person was suggesting the other day in the video. They left by the time I figured out what they were talking about. Um, they were very patient mind. I don't know if it looks all that spectacular, but it is a good one. Another interesting one is with the feet slightly reversing it. So instead of kind of heels, which a lot of us, when we're social dancing, Ray and such, we kind of just go back and forth between our heels. I mean, there's other ways, but another one that's kind of good is kind of like stepping forward. Not necessarily putting your full foot down either, but stepping forward, with the other movement. Kind of like bounce. What I noticed about that, oh hi Hoy, how are you? Hi Hoy. Funny, I was wondering if somebody that I recently met, of Asian background might come onto this, but that's not their name unless that's your other handle. um, um, anyway, there's a pressure point on the foot there, I think. So it kind of touches on that. You don't have to press in hard, but right. I didn't adjust this yet. How are you guys? It feels really weird to just hop right out of trying to fall asleep and come and podcast. It's not something I do often. You know what? That tastes really sweet already, and I'm not sure why. Because I just topped it off with fresh coffee. There was a little bit already in there. It's not a huge cup, but it shouldn't taste that sweet, I don't think. I would have had tea, but, well, I've already kind of thought of having tea at this time of the morning. I associate a little iffy, and I'm really not much of a tea drinker, and I don't think we have much tea at the moment. So, Hori, are you still there? But yeah, so basically, I don't want to be too loud because it is disruptive, and it's like unusual for me to do this. Like I say, am I supposed to, want to get back in bed soon? And technically, so do I. But so what I'm thinking is, in a few hours, I'll come alive for a couple hours, and then gradually get myself ready and go out and do an errand. Because it's supposed to be very nice out today, and I have an errand I've been wanting to do, so it works. Um, but I just wanted to maybe just express some of the thoughts that was spinning through my head, other than my body keeping me awake. Um, it's really weird. I don't know if it's just because I'm not used to drinking it this time or what, but that doesn't need much adjusting. you know, like I like sugar and milk or cream in my coffee, and like I say, I topped that off. There was about this much in it, and it seems alright. Also might get rid of that that other coffee. But yeah, so what were some of the thoughts that were going through my head? This one, I mean, any of them, but this one especially, I think I'm going to value any comments that come afterwards too, because I'm not going to be rolling very long, so I don't know how many are going to come during. But trying to decide what I want. Just trying to remember some of the things I was thinking about while I was trying to sleep, and trying to decide what ones I might want to speak about now. I'd heard a little bit from my friend Ray, but I don't really know. She's like, you already kind of know. I don't really need to. Basically, it's that her eyes opened a few more times than I realized. Or, because I wasn't there, I wasn't present, right? But just in my mind, how I thought it kind of happened, her eyes apparently did open a few times. Um, and she was living with her dad, I think, so it was lucky that he was able to get her to the hospital. Not that it saved her, but in some ways she, got brought to the heaven, and that's a way of being saved as well, right? So, but, sorry, it's very early in the morning here. Like I say, don't usually do these at this time, but I couldn't sleep. And if it's not the body stuff, I can kind of, you know, usually it's just the initial falling asleep, and we don't talk too much about sleep or anything like that. But and then I'm good unless I have to briefly get up to pee. But then, yeah, no, the body stuff too. So that's why I'm also wanting to do this standing, to just have some movement. Trying to think of what else was mentioned or was thought. I know I was thinking a little bit about this, which I want to talk about in a moment. But I think because this is the only thing that works during the day for me, during the week especially, to live stream on, I'm not going to go out with it. But what I do want to remember is this. But because I don't want to risk not being able to get back on the Wi-Fi later when I get home. So, but yeah, so basically, and actually, even though G is often very warm to the touch, the holding in the warm cup is helping at the moment, I feel like. So basically, um, so like I say, my body just wasn't letting me sleep right now, and sort of my mind. So here I am. And I could have put that in a little caption, but I didn't. I did what I did do, and that's gonna have to be fine for now. But like I say, it is for those that are curious. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In about 5 hours, I'll be coming online for longer. That feels like such a long time away since it's kind of mid mid early morning. But one thing I am trying to decide, if you'd be so kind as to maybe offer your input. We got two of you here, and I appreciate your input. And then I have like all evening. Is G recently gave me a McDonald's gift card that he got from somebody at work. We're assuming there's something on it. Um, First of all, I don't really go to McDonald's, and people are like, "Oh, this guy's not very healthy. He's at McDonald's. I'm off." You know, I feel like I want to wait. I feel like I want to wait. I wasn't that much into the story, but since both of you look like anyway, that you ran off, I'll wait. I'll take this moment though to, and what's about to transpire, what I feel, even though it's of that realm, and then there's that thing, and then there's that other thing. But what's about to, so, I mean, yeah, but first of all, religion and belief in the afterlife can exist. Second of all, ghosts and angels are not the same thing. In my belief, ghosts are what one becomes before they become an angel and go to heaven, which I find a very comforting thought, even though it makes you feel like, okay, well, if they still exist in some way, which I've had experiences, they obviously do, you want to go see them. You know, when you get the ability to have connections, with the other side. I just don't want that light on very much either because it's going to be bright. Um, Coffee, is there, Miss Marianne, blah, blah, blah. When you get that ability, um, you got to be thankful. Or when you're around people, someone that does, you got to be thankful for at least that as you continue to, you know, try and live life. But I'm also very thankful for the YouTube community and other connections. Uh, you know, um, and so, um, but it's a white light energy, and yeah, it's I find it very special, and so I like to share about it. I talk about it. It's not like what the media would represent about those kind of things, or even yeah, but because we do have okay, and you left otherwise okay, but so yeah, basically I'm just gonna jump right into this now. Some people would say, well, if you want advice from people, why don't you just ask the angels then if you can talk to them? Um, Sometimes it's that easy, and sometimes it's not, and I think that's a matter of kind of the headspace I'm in, the energy level I have, the distractions I have, and I'm not really sure why else, to be honest. But I'm gonna try because well, it might precipitate more thinking, of course. But I just feel like my friend, and ironically, um, one of my subs friends, um, might want to be with me when I'm out and about tomorrow. Um, and what I'm trying to decide is, like I say, so we got this gift card from somebody. I'm not likely to go there. I don't really like the McDonald's food anymore. Um, a lot of people will say it's not healthy. But also, um, um, the last couple times I went there, kind of like Tim Hortons, I found that their food wasn't as good as it I might be. There's a small part of me that's craving the fries or one of their beverages, maybe. I used to drink the coffee all the time, or quite possibly one of the desserts or something. But not that strongly. I actually think maybe I actually was having a thought upstairs, which might kind of answer this though. And I'm not. I'm going to try and keep this at the 25 to 30 minute mark, because G might be hearing me, although use sleep music is tinnitus, but also just is probably hoping I'll be upstairs soon, and I would like to be as well. So, anyway, one thought that I had wasn't the first one, but one thought that I had is that we might need. Well, I have one bus ticket. Um, I'm so rarely a transit driver, never a transit driver, rider, that I would not likely need more. Um, well, this is already at 44%. It was at like 95 when I brought it up and didn't use it at all. This device is wild, man. So I think I just have to use it plugged in all the time. Anyway, so, but he's going to be with me, and then we both need the way back as well. And I kind of don't have an credit card because, well, I can't remember the pin. I kind of do, but I don't remember the pin. I don't know if it works with John either. But so basically, I have a bit of cash. I'm going to use that. And by a bit, I really mean a bit. um, but I thought I just heard him moving upstairs. Probably thinking, is he going to come back to bed soon? Come back upstairs. So I'm going to try to. But basically, so I had two thoughts about this thing if I'm not planning to use it. And the second one I might actually omit, although it would almost be the preference, because then we could get a ride back if we're short on fare, I would hope. What I was going to do is offer it to the bus driver. Say, I could be very genuine too, and say, sometimes your job isn't easy. Say, not sure if there's anything on this. We got this from somebody you worked with, but we're never going to use it. 'Tis the season of giving. Hopefully you can at least get yourself a drink, maybe more on it. We don't have the fare. Can we give you this instead? Now some people, and I think doing it that honest and genuine, I would hope that it would work. Because, it is honest and genuine. But, I otherwise thought, they're not going to take a potentially empty card. And unfortunately, some people are liars, or they're, and you deal with a mixture of people, right? But because, it might not be all that nice on the day that we definitely are going to be going out and having a good time, and, I'm really looking forward to it, we'll need a way back. Later, when Mother would be done work, I just don't know. I have to watch back the video I watched last night. I made last night actually, because there was a pretty powerful moment with some advice that I think that I could take with me. As far as the sister goes, there was something else that I thought last night though. Oh, how it's interesting how G's known my mother and my step less long than I have, and my step's only been in the picture 8 or 9 years. Doesn't even well, actually maybe 12. Back in the picture, because I've been in this relationship 8 years. Two of them, and my step was already my step for 2 or 3 years. Anyway, basically, I have more of a background with them, and he realizes that. And I'd rather see the husband and the sister. I do need to sit down for a moment though and probably charge this. Um, you know, But okay, that was really weird. This person didn't stay, but maybe the English. I don't know. Um, you know, um, I don't know how the lighting's going to be in here. Maybe not great, but whatever. Oh, maybe not bad either, though. Okay. As otherwise, I'd just be wandering around thinking inside my head, you know. As far as fresh air, I don't know if that would really help. It might peak. So, yeah, basically, and as far as, sorry, it's very early morning here, much earlier than I'm usually podcasting, but um, as far as, I'm less familiar with them. So it's kind of a preference because I don't have as much of a background. But he is more familiar with them and, you know, isn't really, and mostly has a good connection with them. Doesn't necessarily like what happened either. But so, yeah, basically, sorry, I kind of got a little distracted from that topic. So the other idea, though, I had was to, if I run into a homeless person, give this to them. And I'm sure that they'd be thankful. And again, I think it's important to be honest because I would hate for there not to be really anything on this card, them go to use it, and then see me later and say, hey, you gave me an empty gift card and pretended to be all nice and full of holiday spirit. I'm not pretending anything. As far as I know, there is something on this card. It might even be enough for like 2 or 3 meals. I don't know. We were given it, like I say. And I don't think the person that gave it to him would give him an empty card. I can say that too. Um, Anywho, so basically, that feels better, but our need might tell us to do the other one because we're low income too. And we don't have a lot of coins around, and like I say, we're not avid bus riders. Why do I keep saying drivers? So we don't have the stuff that we'd otherwise need, and unfortunately, the one that we're thinking of taking is still not free. So, so I'm thinking. And then the weather's not going to be as nice to do it on a different day. But part of me thinks, well, keep it. Try the bus thing if it works. Especially that bus is not like 2 or 3 drivers. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then try and, find a nice day to go out and do it. Hopefully before Christmas, which is fast approaching, right? Um, but yeah, so I'm going to just very quickly in a moment breathe in some fresh air. I'm still tingly. I'm still tingly, but I've been away from bed for 23 minutes now. 25, I would say, actually. Um, and, it's, I was standing for a bit and I actually found that I needed to sit. So here I am. So, yeah, basically, it's bright and early in the morning and I just couldn't sleep. I'd do this for longer if I lived alone and wasn't worried about disturbing anyone else in the home. But I don't. And I'm thankful for that for the most part. But what I might just have to do is put some muscle rub on, honestly. And but yeah, so um, other than that, there's a part of me that wants to try and have a bit of a, since I did that segue, it's like, or that introduction or whatever, for the first timers, it's kind of like I might as well actually, show it in action and show why I was mentioning it because I was thinking of this friend Riva and her angelic soul, and she has been homeless actually, and I'll never forget the one time in this way that she told me you don't have to have anything to give, and yes, it is important that you feel comfortable and it's all practice, but just simply you know giving them a hi, I notice you. Not necessarily a how are you, you're homeless, how great do you think? I mean, you might have good moments kind of things, but, like a hi, have a great day or whatever. Or I hope you have a I hope your day improves, or something like that, or a short conversation. You know, they might jump into their story a little bit, which might be hard to hear. It might be a little bit worrisome, when you don't feel, or when if you don't feel um, all that comfortable with how your own life is going in some ways. Um, but no, she just, I just feel like, again, so like, you know, all other types of connections are also very important, even though online is also likely not in the physical, um, it's important too. So, um, yeah, I'm just going to quickly see if I hear anything from her this time. Do that, and then maybe breathe in a bit of fresh air outside, and then try and get back to bed. So I feel like I've already given the introduction to this. Okay, and you've left, so okay, good. Because I was worried that you'd be like just tuning in as I'm about to start, getting the juices flowing, so to speak, and still trying to wake up, to be honest, too, but not that much so because I also want to get back to bed for 2 or 3 hours. Anyway, so yes, and I really hope that you do get some more sleep soon, my friend. It's really hard when, you have disabilities, or you have um, difficulties. She says, you know that I know that. um, she says, and you're going to do your best. I think putting on some of that muscle rub is probably a good idea. You happen to mention that a certain someone often feels like a heat pad, so enjoy that. Know that you'll never burn a hole in the microwave, and have a bunch of whatever they're filled with spill out um, with your spouse. I'm glad to see that you guys are still mostly doing well, and that you do see your blessings, because you truly are very blessed. I know that things aren't sometimes easy, but you do your best, and that's the most important thing. That's all you can do, really. She says, um, "I don't want to give you too much to process or think about, or go back to bed with, and you know, I don't know, if this will also mean that it'll be available, or you'll be able to sense me if I'm with you when you're out and about doing your errand. I hope it goes well, though. Um, you know, my I'm thinking like a bunch of people that pass from guards. My biggest my biggest hope for you, my friend, um, tomorrow and always, is that as much as you enjoy, live streaming and expressing yourself, and you know, um, conversations and everything else that you do, that you find beauty and comfort and stillness. Um, that you, and actually, in this lady, my eyes looking a little bit like I'm blind, but I'm not. That you, that you find beauty and comfort and stillness, even if you're out and about doing stuff and moving, which that'll be really great. I think for you. Pace yourself if you need to, but you know, enjoy that it's a fairly decent weather day, and you've got a reason to go out, and also when you're at home, enjoy that too. But yeah, I would actually suggest, she says, that I may be with you, but I might not make it that obvious. And she says, as angels, we do that sometimes, so that people know we do that sometimes. And this is just one reason. We can talk about other reasons later, but one reason is that, we just want, and I want to send you back to bed with this feeling too, she says. Wow, she's really, really expressing here. She says, I hope I'm not overstepping and saying too much. No. It's just flowing very well. She says, "You're welcome." Anyway, she says, "Yeah, when you go out, you know, enjoy some of the sights and sounds that you experience." But she says, otherwise, and your mind's going to do what it's going to do, and if there's nobody else around you, or you're just talking softly, you might talk to yourself. She says, but you've been out sometimes, and it's just like, wow, it's really quiet out. You know, it's almost kind of weird, but it's also kind of nice because it's not overwhelming. And then when you go into the store, it probably will be, but a little bit. But so she says exactly. So enjoy and make the most of it. Um, you know, people always are looking for things to be happening, and things to be moving, and that. Um, and although that's understandable, she says they don't have to. You know, so yeah, just kind of enjoy the fact that it's a nice day, that you will hopefully have some sun shining, on your face, and and know that I care about you, my friend. I want you well. Um, I know that you're doing your best to, with your struggles, eat a balanced diet, get exercise. Um, that you do fear, as much as you want to be here with so many of us, you do kind of fear dying. But at the same time, um, you don't. And I get it. I get you fear what you'd have to leave behind, and that's very valid. But you know what? You got it, my friend. She says, just and it's a 30 mark, ironically. She says, just cherish life, cherish your day, and do your best. Like I say, that's all you can do. Don't try and put too much pressure on yourself to do more than your best. You'll know when you've done as best as you can do. And then be proud of yourself and say, okay, I'll just relax now and kind of, you know, roll with it, kind of thing. So, yeah, again, just enjoy being outside. Just enjoy having a reason to be, having sight, but hopefully not being overstimulated, having a little bit of money in your pocket, having the day. I know that you're a very thankful, grateful person, but that's what I would suggest. And then I like say, well, I'll watch the other one later because Curie was also very good, and with the upcoming holiday stuff, and maybe find where I play it for what's a face. But yeah, that's about all, my friend. I think you really should try and get back to bed. Um, I'm kind of reading your mind, kind of thinking, yeah, I'm not that tingly at the moment. I do feel like I'm still prone to being, like I still kind of feel it. And yeah, there hasn't been all that much interaction, but again, I haven't been rolling that long, so I don't have a lot of that to think about at the moment. So, um, and I know what I can do from a, with that muscle rep to also help. So, okay, I'm wrapping up.